Hey everybody, Terry with Fastcast Rods here again, and I wanted to make a follow-up video because I've been getting a lot of questions about my last video, how much does a bass boat weigh, with people with, okay, well, how much does your basic bass boat cost? And this one's a little bit harder to answer because there's so many different styles and models and brands out there, but I did some research and I came up with your average bass boat is going to run you between $17,000 and $70,000. Now, I can hear you already. Oh my God, that's such a huge gap. But I'm going to try and break it down a little bit for you and show you what could possibly be on the low side and what could possibly be on the high side, and then give you some information to help you just get there, and then give you some information in case you don't want to go buy a brand new bass boat, or what are your options? Can you get something used? What? So first, let's break it down. $17,000 and $70,000 sounds like a lot of money, a huge gap. What can you get for $17,000 versus $70,000? Well, let me tell you. $17,000 is going to be your typical 17-foot bass boat, little, 25 Merc, something like that. No buttons and bells, go at a fish finder on yourself, something like that, with a little single axle white trailer, no frills, nothing like that. And as you progress and you get bigger motors or a longer boat, or you want to start adding fish finders or downriggers or bait boxes or tanks or anything like that, you start to progressively add more money. So up in the $70,000 range, you might be at a 24-foot bass boat with double engines, trolling motor attached, a high-end fish finder, like I said, bait tanks, something like that, and just all the buttons and bells, downriggers off the side for trolling and things like that. And the sky is the limit when you want to buy a bass boat. So what you should do is you should really first think about what size you want. Okay, I want an 18 to 20 foot bass boat. Perfect. I want to add a fish finder on myself, or that seems like too big of a job for me because you do have to run the wire all the way out the back and stuff like that. I don't want to add downriggers myself. Whatever you want to do yourself, you can take out of the price of the boat. So if you want to put a fish finder on yourself, good. If you want to put downriggers on, if you want to add storage. Now, I would suggest that if you're going to buy a bass boat and you want to have like bait tanks or cold storage or anything like that, that you get it when you buy the boat. So don't go into something saying, no, I can add this later, because some things require constructions of the boat and stuff like that. You have to take the seats out to add tanks and stuff like that. But your typical downriggers and fish finders and biminis and things like that, you can always add later. But think of it like that: the bigger you go, the bigger motor you go, the more frills you go, the higher the cost. And also, I took a poll between like 2016, 2017, 2018. Also, so the higher end's going to be on the 2018s, the brand new boats, because they're coming out with new technology, things like that. But all in all, if you're looking at an 18 to 20 foot bass boat, I think you're probably going to be safe if you ballpark about $25,000 with no extra buttons and bells, and that's with a decent fish finder, not anything high tech, $1,200-$1,500 fish finder, something that's going to work though. So let me ask, I've been asked, what about buying a boat off of Craigslist? Nothing wrong with that. There's people out there that sell their boats every day that are just, either getting too old or they're getting too much to handle, or they want to, maybe they want to switch to a family boat because they started a family. Those are perfect for you to buy. But you really, really, really need to do some homework on them. So, for example, if you find something on Craigslist that's absolutely to die for, go and inspect it, look for any rust, look for any mold or mildew, because obviously it gets wet. So if it's been stagnant water, or if water's been held in there, you're going to get mold and mildew. You're going to get that smell. You're going to smell it right away. you know, take a look at the electronics, make sure all the lights turn on, make sure everything works, and then sometimes you can get them to go test drive it out on the lake. If not, what you're going to want to do is Amazon, Walmart, something like that has the little suction cups that you hook the hose to, and you're able to run the boat motor out of the water because the motor's water cooled. They normally have to be submerged, but for 20, 25 bucks, you can get the clamps. So if they're very hesitant on starting the motor, even with you bringing those clamps, I would tend to back away. So you have a way to test the motor. You have a way to test all the lights. You have a way to make sure there's no rips and tears that you didn't see in the pictures and stuff like that. And that's a very, very decent way to go. Another thing I wanted to throw in on the cost of a boat is the licensing. You will have to license your boat every single year. So ask the boat store or ask the used third-party owner, how much did it normally cost to register your boat and get the sticker on the side, because you're going to have to come up with that every year. You do not want to get caught out on the lake without your sticker, because you will get pulled over by sheriffs or game wardens or something like that, and that's not going to be good. One last thing that I really, really wanted to dive into about this is boat insurance. You always want to have boat insurance on your boat, period. That it could range from $100 a month to a couple $100 a month. Maybe you're my age and you get a good discount on stuff like that. Maybe it's $600 a year, something like that. Always make sure you have the insurance. If you're going to pay the money for a boat, make sure you have it, because I have actually been in a situation where my friends let their insurance lapse, and we took a boat out to the Delta, and they hit a tree, and it ripped the fiberglass right off the back, and the boat just sunk. And they had to pay for that all out of pocket because they had let their insurance lapse. So don't let that happen to you. We wrote a pretty good article that goes into detail a lot about a lot of different bass boats that you can take a look at that you might want to buy. They're very popular. They're the most well-bought boats out there, most well-named brands, and you're probably going to want to go take a look at that. I'm putting it in the description below, or you can go to Fastcast Rods / bass boat cost, and that'll take you right to the article. It'll explain the licensing, it'll explain the insurance, and it'll give you a much more in-depth breakdown on the types of bass boats that are going to run you $48,000 versus the type that are going to run you $17,000. So take a look at that article, and then let me know in the comments below if you have a comment or if you have a question about a bass boat, or maybe something that I didn't mention that could possibly add more money to the cost of the boat. Let me know, and we'll try to answer it for you. Talk to you soon.